Hi there. I'm going to review the Shark Navigator Lift Away Vacuum Cleaner and show you how I clean the filters and overall give the vacuum cleaner a cleaning once in a while. So I just thought it would be helpful for others to see the features of this vacuum cleaner, my personal pros and cons of it, as well as how to clean those filters. This is not a paid review at all. It's just that when I was looking to purchase a vacuum cleaner, I didn't see any reviews of this one, and so I thought it would have been helpful to just put a review on here about this vacuum cleaner. So I purchased this vacuum cleaner on November 16th, 2019 at Home Depot when my Hoover's motor seized and died. It's a very sad day. I really like my Hoover a lot. And now it's February 19th. So I've had it for a few months. I've been using it for quite a while. I paid $199 plus tax for it. So it was about $210. Sometimes I feel like this vacuum cleaner is totally worth the $200, but there is one issue that I have with this vacuum cleaner that really bothers me, and I think it really significantly decreases that value. So there's just one thing about it that I really dislike that I don't think makes it worth $200, but there are lots of features that it has that I do feel makes it worth its value. So usually before I make a purchase like this, I would watch reviews and do some research, but for this one, I didn't really have time to do that. The Hoover died, and I just went out to the store. I checked out, I think, a Lowe's and then a Target, and I ended up at Home Depot, where I just purchased this one. I was on my phone trying to look up different things with different vacuum cleaners, and ultimately I chose this one, and I'll explain why I chose this one as we go along. So this is the Shark Navigator Lift Away 0M Speed, and the model number is ZU561. So let's go into the specifications of what the Shark has. So this is the product specification list that Shark has on their website for this particular vacuum cleaner. So I'll go through some of the specifications and tell you what I think about some of them, okay? So first we'll go with product weight. It weighs 13.4 pounds. I find that to be a bit heavy. I do find this vacuum cleaner to be heavy. I know there are vacuum cleaners out there that weigh more, and I know there are vacuum cleaners out there that weigh less, but for me it's a little heavy, but for what it does, and for how well it works, it's not a deal breaker for me at all, but it is just a little heavy for me. The dust cup capacity is just under a quart, and I think it's huge. I think it's a great amount of dust and dirt that you can collect in here. They have a fill line on here, so you know if you hit that spot, you do have to empty it. I empty it way more frequently than that line. I probably empty it about maybe a third of the way full. I'll empty it, but I do feel that this dust cup capacity is really big and more than sufficient for vacuuming, daily vacuuming. Let's see, what else? Cleaning path is a foot. I think that's common, and I think it's more than sufficient for vacuuming. I can get under different places in between chair legs pretty easily. The filters, we're going to talk a lot about the filters and how to clean them in just a few minutes, but the filters are in this spot here, and I'll go through those with you in a few moments. There's a HEPA filter as well as a foam filter and like a felt filter that are washable. And that's what I'm going to show you after I finish going through this sort of stuff. The cord length is 25 feet. I feel like that's too short. I'd love like a 50-foot cord. Like I would really like a big long cord. But if I think strategically about where to plug it in my house, I can maximize how many rooms I can get vacuumed on the 25-foot cord. I'd like it to be a little longer, but again, not a deal breaker for me at all. And I still absolutely love this vacuum cleaner. The hose length is a little over 6.5. I would say 6.5 feet. I'll show you that. That is, I do feel it's really long and sufficient. I'm just about touching my ceiling. With this, there's plenty of reach with it. There's a lot of you can do a lot of stairs. You can do like the cobwebs. I do feel that this hose length is more than sufficient for a vacuum cleaner. It's really great. There are attachments that came with it. I only have one of them with me here. The other one is upstairs. There's this attachment. What do you call that? The crevice attachment that has like the little I don't know what you call those things, bristles on it, and there's also like an upholstery, I think it's called, attachment. I like the attachments. Everything's fine with it. And you can use them also without the long pole. Like if you don't need the pole, you can just click a button, and it's a little stuck in the screen. You'll see why. This is one of the things I really don't care about. This vacuum cleaner I'll get into a little bit later. But you can also just attach your attachments right handheld here for if you're doing something close. And you don't need a very long pole. Okay, so there's that. There is, LED lights is not included. Yeah, so this vacuum cleaner does not have, let me just unplug that, does not have LED lights. I know a lot of vacuum cleaners this day and age do. Like this does not have any lights here. So going under couches and things like that, there's nothing to project. I don't have a problem with that. I don't really need lights. My house is really well lit, so I don't rely on that. I don't need that. But if that's something that's really important to you, know that this model does not have any lighting there. Okay, so not only can you just regular vacuum clean with this, right? Cleaning floors, you can clean hardwood floors, vinyl floors. I have vinyl in my bathroom, as well as carpet. There's 2 settings, and I'll show you. I have a close-up of the buttons to show you in a little bit. But not only can you do that, but this has that lift-away technology, right? So that's supposed to help you so you're not carrying or lugging around the whole vacuum cleaner with you if, let's say, you're going upstairs or wanting to just do some upholstery, something like that. And I'll get a close-up on this later. But there's a lift-away, so it lifts away. So the whole thing kind of detaches from the bottom part. This I don't even feel is that heavy. I think most of the weight is in this thing. But, so this, so you don't have to lug this around with you if what you're going to use is, you know, the hose attachment here. So if you're going to be using, I'm going to do it. It's easier to do it when it's attached. So if you're going to be using just your hose attachment, you don't need the whole thing with you. You can just carry around the canister with you, you know, as you're vacuuming around with this. So I do like that too. I like that feature that it has the ability to be vacuum cleaner as well as that lift away canister feature. I like that a lot. Okay. So those are the product specifications, size, shape, all that stuff for this vacuum cleaner. So I'm going to tell you now about why I particularly chose this vacuum cleaner. Then we'll get into like the maintenance of it, how I clean those filters and how I keep it running well. And then in the end, I'll give you my review on what I love and what I don't like about the vacuum cleaner. So when I was in the store trying to find out, you know, which vacuum cleaner should I purchase, I had a hard time. One of the things that stood out to me on this Shark box was that it said, the vacuum that deep cleans now cleans itself. I was really curious. I was like, what is that? What does this mean? It cleans itself. And as I looked around on the box, it had this whole side on this 0M technology. And I was like, what is this? So I spent some time looking at it. I Googled it too while I was at Home Depot trying to figure out like what it was. Basically what it is it's a way for hair to not get tangled in those brush rolls. Now I have really long hair, you know, very long hair. It's really long. So when I'm vacuuming, it often gets tied up and rolled up in the brush roller. So, and that was a problem that I had with my Hoover, is that I would often have to disassemble it. I had to take out maybe 9, I think. It was 9 screws. I had to pull apart the whole bottom of it, and I used to use an X-Acto knife, like screwdrivers and scissors to cut away all the hair that had tangled around the brush roll. So if you have long hair or pets, you're probably used to doing this too, trying to get rid of the hair off the brush roll. But what this Shark has, which I think was really neat, is this technology. It's called 0M technology, which helps cut away the hair so it gets kind of cut up and then can go right into the dust cup. Let me show you that now. So this is actually the bottom of the vacuum cleaner. I just attached it, like the lift away, so you can see this part. And so that 0M technology is actually these metal wires here, okay? And actually when we'll jump right into part of my cleaning and maintenance part where, and I'll start right with this, with the hair, so you can actually see how it works. It's really neat. I have not had more than like a few strands of hair stuck on this. And I don't know how many months have I had it, like several months that I've had this vacuum cleaner. So I really do love this. This is probably my favorite thing about this vacuum cleaner, is that my very, very, very long hair does not get stuck up and caught up in these rollers. Okay, so let's hop over to the cleaning and maintenance. I'll start with this part and then move into the filters. So this is how you open up the bottom of the shark. If you have to, if you have a hair tangle, if you want to clean it out, you just take a quarter and unscrew those plastic screws, pull it down, and you have access to the brush roller. I usually just clean it with a microfiber cloth. I just kind of dust it out a little bit because it does get dirty. I haven't needed, though, to untangle the hair because the Zero technology takes care of it just fine. Another thing I do like to do is I like to take the microfiber cloth and clean also the wheels of the shark, just because they get kind of, crumbs get stuck to them and dirt gets stuck to them. So I'll just take a cloth and just rotate the wheels and wipe them down as part of my cleaning maintenance of the vacuum cleaner. So in order to access the filters, they're underneath the dust cup. So you have to just unclip the dust cup, move that out of the way, and there you'll see our filters. Okay, so here is the first foam filter. It's pretty thick and squishy. It's just made of like a foam material. A lot of dirt gets trapped in that. Then underneath that, you have, actually says put in first, feels like a felt filter, is what it feels like to me. Both of these can be washed. I'll show you how I do that in a moment. So there's also a HEPA filter in this vacuum cleaner, and you can access that by unclipping this part here that I'm showing you. And then you can see the HEPA filter right there. So Shark says in their maintenance manual that you just have to rinse out this HEPA filter about once every 12 months. So these are the pre-motor filters I just took out. Shark suggests that you clean these or rinse these out with just water every 3 months. I probably rinse mine more like every 3 weeks. So before I actually rinse them in water, what I like to do is bang them out and try to get as much of the dust out of them as possible. I often do this outside just against like the foundation of my house. You can see all the dust is just kind of flying out of them. You could also just do this inside a trash can in your home, but I end up by whacking it against the side of my house to get all the excess, just the extra dirt off so it doesn't all go down the sink. And next, I just rinse both filters in my sink with cold water. No detergent, no nothing, just rinse them with cold water. You can see I just squeeze them out and get all the dirt out of them. And I do this for both pre-motor filters. I also just wipe down with a microfiber cloth all the excess dirt when I'm cleaning this out. Okay, so now we have already cleaned out, we've wiped down all the dirt out of here, we've taken the filters out, those are drying now. So the next thing that we have to do is take care of the dust cup. Now this is the piece that sits on top of here, so the filters are here, and this goes right against the filter, so you can see how dusty and dirty that this part can get. So the first thing that I do when I want to clean this out is I just take again my microfiber cloth and I just kind of wipe it down. So I'll go off camera so you don't have to watch me wipe this whole thing down. But I wipe it down, okay, which I'll finish that later. And we also have to empty the dust cup. So I'll show you how we do that next. So here's the button here, I just push and this whole thing's gonna come empty out. Ah! So all the dirt comes out, okay? It's gonna come empty out. Ah! On the top here, you see this other button here. If you push that, it opens up the top, and in here it shows all the stuff that, like the big stuff grows. Like the big stuff, all the hair grows, but it is what it is. That gets caught up in here, so that doesn't go through the filter system. So once my dust cup is empty of all dirt, I do rinse it out of my tub. Just a quick rinse with some cool water and a wipe down. So I just leave the dust collector and the 2 filters out. I lay them out to let them air dry. I just put them on a towel on top of my washing machine. If I had a counter, I would put them there. And I just let them air dry. Occasionally I'll squish the, and I'll move it off that spot of the towel. Like I'll squish the filter just to kind of encourage it to get to dry out. This guy too, I'll just squish it every once in a while. And sometimes I'll put another towel underneath and just change out the towel as it gets wet. While overall I love my shark, the one thing I absolutely hate about it is how the plastic rubs away from wherever it's like has a movement joint. So you can see here, all these white marks here are rub marks from like the vacuum cleaner itself when you just have to set it from, you know, from upright to recline to start vacuuming, and it scratches the plastic. I wipe this down constantly to make sure it's not dirt doing it, but I do not like this, and I feel this is a really cheap part of the shark, and I really, really, really wish that they had worked a little bit better to prevent that wear and tear on the plastic. Okay, so now some pros and cons for this Shark Navigator Lift-Away Vacuum Cleaner. So I have been using this since November 16th, 2019, and today is February 19th, 2020. So I've been using it for a few months. So some pros. Pros, boy, it cleans very well. This vacuum cleaner picks up all sorts of dirt, crumbs, big things, small things. I really love it. It really does pick up well on a variety of surfaces, hardwood floors, vinyl and carpet, really fluffy carpet, and also like not a very thin carpet. It does very well. Picks up dirt incredibly well. And I will say it was probably better than my Hoover that I had before. Another huge pro is the hair does not tangle in the roller brush. That is huge. I showed you earlier, I have very long hair, and every vacuum cleaner I've had has always had the roller brush be filled with hair. And I'd have to unscrew, take apart the whole thing, remove the roller brush, cut off all the hair. This does not happen at all with this vacuum cleaner. That Zero technology works fantastic. It really does a great job. I haven't had one issue with hair tangling around that roller brush. So I think that is just in itself just a huge, huge, huge plus to this vacuum cleaner. So if you've got pets or you have long hair and you happen to have that tangle problem, I would definitely get this vacuum cleaner. Another pro is that dust cup capacity is huge. There's so much space. It's almost a quart of space of dirt and dust that can collect before you need to empty it. I think that's more than enough. It's definitely not the kind of vacuum cleaner you have to empty frequently, and I think that's a really great plus for this vacuum cleaner. On to some cons. Cons, there's a lot of friction and rubbing on the shark that causes these white marks. I showed them to you before. I'm going to show it to you again because this really, really bothers me with this vacuum cleaner. I mean, right here on this, like, you have to, I'm constantly, when I use my vacuum cleaner, I have to pull it open. This worries me tremendously, and this happens all throughout the entire shark. Like, every piece that rubs against another piece of plastic is showing these wear marks. I'm really worried about deterioration. I'm really worried that it's going to get brittle and it's going to break long before, like the plastic. Like, I'm worried that this plastic is going to give away and break and it'd be like all floppy well long before the motor of this thing gives up. So this, I think it just makes it very, it gives it a cheap kind of feeling to this vacuum cleaner. The other con that I could think of was really the 25-foot cord. And like I said before, it's not a deal breaker, but I really would have enjoyed like a 50-foot cord, like something that would have been a little bit better. Not a huge thing, not a deal breaker for me, but just something just on the con side, that's something that came up. So is it worth $210? That's the question, right? So I paid, it was $199 plus tax, so my total was $210 for this vacuum cleaner. Do I think it's worth $210? I'm going to say no. Now, I'm going to say no because I'm really nervous about this deterioration. I'm really nervous about the plastic wearing off so that these the joints aren't going to fit in properly, that taking the stick out, in and out, off of the lift away basket is going to deteriorate to a part where it's not going to come out or it's going to break. And I am really concerned that this is going to someday just be worn off so much that it's going to be floppy and it's not even going to hold up anymore, upright. So that really does make me nervous. Although, like I said, I'm very happy with the cleaning and the fact that my hair doesn't get tangled up. But $210, I don't know. I say right now, not worth it. Perhaps in retrospect, I would buy this vacuum cleaner if it was on sale for like maybe $150 perhaps, knowing that I have these issues with it. But I'm really happy with it overall. So I'm really kind of torn. I guess the best thing I can do is see how many years this thing lasts. It does come with a 5-year warranty, which I registered my product with sharkclean.com. So I've registered it with it. So if I have a problem with something like that, where it does deteriorate to a point where I can't use it anymore, I'm hoping that they'll be able to help me take care of that. So I guess I'll be able to tell you if it's worth it after a few years to see if that plastic deterioration does cause a huge problem. Overall, though, I do love the Shark Navigator. I'll show it to you again. The Shark Navigator Lift Away. It is a great vacuum cleaner. It's great especially if you have long hair or pets, because the hair will not get tangled up in the roller brushes. The only con I got is made kind of cheap plastic, and the friction is really already wearing away, and I've only had it for a few months. So if you have any questions or you want me to go over anything, hey, put it in the comments section. And as always, if this was helpful for you, could you please give me a like, maybe share it, subscribe, hit the little bell to get some notifications for new videos coming up. And if you actually have a product that you'd like me to review, let me know. Put it in the comment section. If I have something that you want me to review, I will most certainly do that. And please check back soon. I'm going to try to get some more reviews of different products that I use at home. Thanks for watching.